Atlas Cup intensity goes full throttle all day and all night. Lacrosse fans at Tierney Field are treated to fantastic displays, one highlight after another, with the action beginning to heat up right now. We have saved the best for last today in Sparks, Maryland. 20 minutes north of Baltimore is where the focus of the Lax world lands as the two superpowers in the men's game collide. It's time for Team Canada to clash with Team USA. It is great to see you again. Alongside former Ohio State midfielder Mitchell Pehlke, I'm Joe Beninati. This is the matchup everybody's been waiting for. What is so appealing about it?
It's the best players all on one field with a sold-out crowd. Both pros in indoor and outdoor, stars on both sides of the field. This is the marquee Saturday night matchup we all want to see.
It is a record-setting crowd here at Tierney Field. Everybody here, 8 teams sprinkled among the men's and women's bracket, scrapping for the Atlas Cup. This is a round-robin duel to the finish.
They look good. USA's out there rocking the navy blue. Round-robin finish. We saw some games earlier with the women's and men's, and we're about to get into the full action.
Tonight's matchup brings the curtain down on another dazzling day of lacrosse. Haudenosaunee's men, Canada, and U.S. women have already won. They've earned W's today. So this is the last game of 4 on the slate.
Definitely. We saw the Saturday action today with the men's earlier, 2 women's games. We're going to finish off with, again, the marquee matchup of USA versus Canada here starting soon.
The Atlas Cup is competing with the sixes format of lacrosse. These notes may come in handy for you.
Definitely. Here's some quick rules for you. 4 quarters, 8 minutes each, 30-second start, 30-second shot clock, 6 players on each team. Feels a little bit more condensed. No deep holes, no 2-point line. This is sixes lacrosse.
Eric Campbell, Cole Day, Bill Doherty, Keith Glock, your officials. Team USA in blue, Canada in the red tops. There are only face-offs taken to start quarters in the sixes format. We're off and running. Terefenko going round and round, with Team Canada getting the first possession. Jeff Teat, marvelous against Haudenosaunee with 3 goals and 5 assists yesterday. He starts off with a bang.
Jeff Teat, household name already. Won a PLO championship with the Atlas and a championship MVP with his teammate Connor Schellenberger, who's obviously on the opposite end of the spectrum today.
Terefenko feeds. That's going to get away from the intended target, Jack Hanna. They scramble for it on the sideline. The officials give possession to Canada. In the nets for the Canadians to start, it's Brett Dobson. At the other end, his opposite number 30, Logan McNaney, gets the call for Team USA from head coach Andy Shea.
Goal, number 7, Jeff Teat.
Snapshot delivery, a buzz bomb from the outside. It's Levi Anderson to love.
Levi Anderson, a mainstay now in the pros. Out of St. Joe's, all-time career points there as a senior.
Mitchell, I watched him shooting in the warm-ups. His delivery is downright lethal.
You got to watch out for him and Trey LeClaire, both guys with heavy cannons that can put in the back of the net.
Kelly on the feed. This sidewinder from O'Keefe, stopped by Dobson. He's right into it as Team Canada looks to put 3 on the board in the first 90 seconds.
Absolute star-studded on both ends. These teams are filled with pros in both the indoor and outdoor.
Firth swings it. Feed that's low. Firth tracks it down on the end line. Shot clock's at 6. Teat cranks and scores. 2 for Teat.
That is Jeff Teat lacrosse right there. You've seen it time and time again, and even though the shot clock's running down, you can't leave a guy open like that.
Mick Kelly finding Connor Schellenberger. Schellenberger off on the wing. Mackesy skips it on through. Hanna inside Terefenko. Wonderful stop by Dobson. Team USA maintains possession in sixes. A shot that hits the goalie or the net itself, you keep possession. Otherwise, it's not closest to the ball where and when as it would be if this was the full field version of lacrosse.
You get a reset as well, and And this is going to be important to capitalize for USA. It's going to be a long game for these guys.
McAsee jitterbugs in. Feeds it over the top. Schellenberger off the split dodge. Lets this one go. That's off a defender. And wide. It'll stay Team USA ball. 18 seconds to shoot. Mick Kelly brings it up top. Brandow for Schellenberger. Connor on the go. Floated inside. Snapshot score. Brandow gets Team USA on the board.
Brandow, nepotism. We talked to Andy Shea earlier this week about his only Yale prodigy on this team, but Matt Brandow is a star in his own right.
Coach Shea was so excited for Brandow to get this opportunity. Canadians at this end with McConvey leaving for Teat. Teat already has struck twice. Lets another drive go that was partially blocked. Big rebound, picked up on the run by Ross Scott. Long range, bullseye, Marinier.
Marinier with a little shove on his former teammate, Ryan Terefenko. You gotta love that these guys are getting chippy early.
Ryan Drenner will bring it across for the United States. Going to the goal, Hannah. Dobson waiting at the end of the line. Dobson, who was dazzling against Haudenosaunee, finished with 8 stops in a half of play. Dylan Ward is on the bench for Eddie Cameau's Canadians. O'Keefe, feed it inside. Point blank put away. Tally for Bo Pedersen.
23, Bo Pedersen. On the assist, number 3, Mac O'Keefe.
As expected, a back and forth affair. Closing in, this is Trey LeClaire, another lethal outside shooter. Canada wanted a hold on Peterson, not called. English, who was brilliant yesterday, his pass gets away from Peterson, and McNaney has it for the United States.
Ty English having an absolute standout day yesterday. Player of the day. He looks great for Canada, and again, stars everywhere.
This is Mick Kelly, who's in for the injured Logan Wisnauskas. This drive is high. It's a turnover back to Canada. Canada with 4 on the board, just over 3 minutes to go. 8-minute running time quarters in this inaugural Atlas Cup on the USA Lacrosse YouTube channel. Folks, don't miss your chance to win cash prizes. Details that are in the live chat. Levi Anderson driving in. Teat, sidewinder, missed everything by about 10 feet. That was way off the target. McNaney says thanks, and he'll bring it along with Brandow.
Definitely. I think that the goalie play in this game are going to be huge. These goalies are getting shelled, but which goalie is going to stand on their head is really going to help their team out with the amount of shots they're seeing.
O'Keefe closing. From deep, he scores! Mac O'Keefe.
We've seen that time and time again, that windup, that low release from Mac O'Keefe, one of the best shooters we've seen. Led it at a time at Penn State when he had the duo with Brandon Met, and it's exciting to see him doing it in Sixes format.
Teat, whose resume speaks for itself, winds and scores! A blistering drive past McNaney. Logan doesn't seem to be seeing it all that well to start.
It doesn't, and this is not normal for Logan McNaney. He usually comes out of the gate firing.
Teat already with a hat trick. A whirling dervish. That shot was sent wide. Bo Pedersen, who had a goal against Puerto Rico in the game yesterday. We get a whistle and a card called.
Penalty on Canada. U.S. will be man up.
Ty English will have a seat. Just drafted into NLL play, 2nd overall. United States about to go extra man, attempting to trim Canada's first quarter lead to 1. Hannah from the top, O'Keefe circling it up. Off the wing, McAsee picks up Schellenberger. He scores.
Shelley, that's one for him today. The classic high-to-high heat. Every goalie hates that, but he's continued to stick it in the back of the net.
PLL Attacker of the Year, Connor Schellenberger, PLL MVP, helping to bring the United States within 180 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Joe Beninati, Mitchell Pehlke in the booth, Courtney Martinez, Connor on the sidelines. Ross Scott jitterbugs loose, rings that one off the crossbar. Ball down. Great scoop by Leclerc. Gets Canada another possession with a minute to go. Willem Firth. Cornell stand out. Another rip from the outside. Leclerc can't miss.
That Leclerc combo that with Levi Anderson is, that's going to be very lethal.
Right, left, and then you can come back with Marinier. They have shooters everywhere in red. Brandau slips past the defender. Mackesy hesitates, working the two-man game. Leaks below goal line extended. Mick Kelly with a swim move. Up top, Brandau, a scorcher to the roof.
Mick Kelly, key there. The right to left with the swim. Catches his defender opposite coming towards him. Throws it to Brandau, puts in the back of the net.
Why is that move so tough to defend?
The move's so tough to defend because he's creating separation for Brandau's defender, needing to slide towards him.
Ross Scott zipped that one wide, tail end of the opening quarter. As McNaney brings it along, we are done with 8 minutes. As expected, exciting and entertaining. 6-5 in favor of Canada after one.
Canada looks great. Canada came out the gate getting a little bit more action. I think, with Canada's long-range shooters, if they continue to get the ball up and out, what Dobson is continuing to do, it's going to be exciting to see how this game fizzles out.
You said the word exciting. These two teams know each other all too well. How long does it take to get that nervous adrenaline out of your system?
I think within that first rep, that first pass is very key. But again, this is a different stage. This isn't college. This isn't PLL. This isn't NLL. You're representing your country on your chest. This is very different.
Everybody's into it right now. Canada on top by one. After one, we're back to Tierney Field in a moment.
They could see themselves play, and then we can correct it and then bring those corrections to the field. That's every coach's dream.
Canada has a first quarter lead after 8 minutes in this inaugural Atlas Cup action in front of a record-setting crowd, just less than 2,500 we understand here in Sparks, Maryland, assembled for this one. Coaches, players, fans alike, they talk about transition game. Is it favoring one side or the other so far tonight?
It's definitely favoring Canada's side more. You can see USA's trying to push it with those early turnovers they've had. It's not been in their favor, but that's going to be the key of the game. It's that fast break lacrosse. It's, okay, Dobson just got scored on. Get the ball in the back of the net. Look upfield. Who's having the fast break?
Terefenko reporting to the face-off dot. He'll take it opposite of Ty Banks. Banks won 3 of 4 against Haudenosaunee an evening ago. Terefenko, likewise, 3 of his 4 faceoffs against Puerto Rico. Goalies remain the same. Pair of 30s in this one to start. Dobson for Canada. McNaney getting his first taste of sixes play this weekend in Maryland. The former University of Maryland standout. National champion and NCAA tournament most outstanding player. Hanna right to the goal. There's no stopping him.
He looks great. He's a guy that grew up in Ohio, went to Denver, but has that kind of box background.
Coach Andy Shea said he scored way too many goals against his Yale team while he was at Denver. McConvey on the run, pings the post and in.
McConvey, slick shooter. It's crazy. If I'm a young kid out there watching this, I'm taking a look at the stick skills these guys have. It's crazy how creative they're getting.
Schellenberger with the great vision, playmaking ability, chopped at there on the perimeter by McConvey. Ball lands in the cross of Kelly. He's on the go against Marinier. Drenner up top, face dodge here, 4 seconds to shoot. Not a lot of room whatsoever. Bo Pedersen's not going to get that one to the cage. Canada licking its chops, looking to go in fast break. Marinier, deep, he scores. Back to back, here comes the United States on the run. Wasting no time, that's Pehlke.
Pehlke put in the back of the net. Logan McNaney's seen a couple of those from Alex Marinier with the rivalry of Maryland versus Ohio State.
Marinier and Leclerc, again, showing off that high heat for Canada. Peterson on the go. Teat, great pass inside. And that one slammed home by Leclerc.
That's Canadian lacrosse in there. Probably the sweetest, slickest play we've seen in ball movement from Canada.
9-7 for the team from up north. Terefenko off the hitch. Jump shot sails wide of the keeper, Brett Dobson. Dobson, a past PLL champion. On the move back for Canada, Clark Peterson, who did it all in the Alabama event in the sixes for Canada. And we get the timeout taken by Eddie Comeau.
For our youth, the winners of the fastest shot this evening.
We talked to Eddie Comeau a couple days leading up to this event, and the biggest thing I heard from him is this is going to be a barn burner. You know, these two teams really trying to sort out what 28 looks like. That's the ultimate goal of USA Lacrosse and these other organizations putting on sixes events leading up to LA.
Comeau was saying he thought his team needed to be efficient, be deliberate, be, in his words, intentional on offense. How are they faring so far?
I think they're doing a great job. They're taking the risks that need to be taken. They're having that fast break mentality. Now it's about how can we make our shots and aim for pipes and put it in the back of the net.
Leclerc with 2, Marinier with 2, Teat with 3 so far for Canada against Andy Shea's squad. Here's the roster for the United States. Top to bottom, 12 players.
12 players, Logan McNaney, Colin Kirsten, Cage, 2 goalies representing, obviously Connor Schellenberger, Mac O'Keefe, both standouts.
The conditioning requirements to do this in a short tournament, 3 games in 3 days, they've got to be extraordinary.
Definitely. A lot of injuries that are going to come through. And then looking at the Canada roster, you have more standouts. Jeff Teat, Ty English, Levi Anderson, like again, stars on this field tonight.
English, very athletic family, son of Andrew and Kim. Ty's dad played professional football in Canada in the CFL. Waiting for the resumption of the second quarter with Canada on top by 2. And in possession of the ball, English with 7 goals and 2 assists to lead the way against the Haudenosaunee, put them down 24-16. On Sunday, Canada gets Puerto Rico. That matchup scheduled for high noon tomorrow. Teat off an 8-point performance. Delivers to Leclerc. 2-man game. Teat bumped. And this turns out to be possession for the United States. Pedersen, who can be a lockdown defender, exploring at the offensive end with Hanna. Hanna off the swim. Here comes the double. Hanna fights through it and hits the crossbar. Off the post and out. Bad luck there for Jack Hanna. He has all the skills for this sixes discipline.
Jack Hanna, he looks slifty. He looks really good behind the cage, in front of the cage, and he can kind of do it all from wherever. I think from Andy Shea, that's a great pickup for him to be able to so versatile to be able to put him just on the field and play wherever.
Peterson maneuvers in. McNaney makes the good stop. Great outlet here. Long range for Terefenko. Can he run it down? He ran out of racetrack. Terefenko settles in to the 5-on-5 at this end. Little hidden ball trick. Skip it through for Mackesy. Picked up on the outside. O'Keefe looking for the ground ball. Shot clock's at 8. Open player, snapshot score. Just that quick off the release. The goal for Mackesy.
All that started with Mac O'Keefe. The way he picked up that ground ball from a backhand perspective was already in his spin. Being able to throw it, to have that cage, it's mandatory.
Teat with a good backdoor cut. He has the layup. He has 4 goals in the first half alone.
It looks like Jeff Teat's not even sweating right now.
Just glides about his business. Schellenberger and the Americans hoping to respond. O'Keefe, marked by English. Long range Brandow. Dobson found that at his shins. Dobson finds Ross Scott off the Canadian bench. Scott with a great first step. Helps him to create the offense that led to a 50-goal campaign one year with Rutgers. Peterson looking to the inside. It gets away. Teat there battling with Pedersen. And off the scoop, it's the United States ball with Brandow doing the work. McNaney jogs it up. You have 10 seconds to clear the midline in Six's play. That was awfully close. It is a failure to advance against the United States. Firth hesitates, pump that one. They're going to keep it in favor of Canada. The officials say McNaney got a chunk of that. Shot clock reset. Canada in red, the United States in the blue. Teat, who has 4 tallies and counting in this one. He's the traffic cop near the midline, trying to get away from Terefenko. McConvey feeds the flank. Off the hitch, they run this perfectly right up the gut for Teat's 5th.
You gotta like the Canadians taking a little personal accountability. You can tell that was a play just written up from the players and executing.
Hanna on through to Mackesy. Mackesy gets away from McConvey. No room to the interior. McKelly buzzed that one wide. An empty possession for the United States. This is where you have to lock down defensively if you're rooting for the team in blue.
For USA, this can't get out of hand in the next 2 minutes as you go into half, potentially down by 4 to 5 goals. That's exactly what you don't want.
2 minutes away from the halftime break. 8 minutes running time quarters in Atlas Cup play. Teat feeling it, goes to the goal. He has 6 in the first half alone.
Canada goal, number 7, Jeff Teat.
Canada climbing on the back of number 7 in red. Jeff Teat leading the way. Canadians up 4. Terefenko. Work it for Geddes. Geddes into the lineup, filling in for the injured Danny Logan. Brandow drawing a couple defenders, bullies his way inside but missed the target. Right there at the top of the crease. 70 seconds remain in this opening half. Game 2 for both of these teams, both of them victorious an evening ago. The United States took down Puerto Rico by 10. Canada dusted off the Haudenosaunee by 8. Haudenosaunee with an earlier win today in the men's bracket. Off the curl comes Leclerc. Play it on the wing to the hot hand. Teat maneuvers in. Flip feeds a beauty. On the run, Marinier was denied by McNaney. A key stop there for the American keeper. And now Andy Shea wants to talk it over. Offensively for the United States, Mitchell Pehlke, make yourself the offensive coordinator for Team USA. What are you going to draw up?
I think number 1 is slow down. You got to have some patience. I think this game, when they hear 6s, and even us here in the booth, it looks faster than it might actually be. But they need to slow down, and I think they need to create some offense. I think, it's a lot of guys standing around and trying to dodge with the ISO opportunity, but let's have some picks. Let's go behind the net. Let's play some 2-man game. Let's get other players involved. If we don't have the ball, let's move off the ball, set some off-screen picks, and really kind of get the whole offense. But if I'm Shea, I'm saying, hey, relax. This is fine. We're in a good spot, but let's draw up a couple different pick plays, something quick.
When Andy Shea was discussing how he would attack against Eddie Cameau's squad, see Cameau in the huddle there with Canada, he was talking about potentially playing 2-man games a little bit higher than usual. He was thinking about perhaps maybe 5 yards up from goal line and not necessarily putting so much focus directly from the top.
Definitely, yeah, and I think that's what makes these games so much different. You go into the NLL and you play box lacrosse, you can't really go behind the net and dodge. With 6s, you do have the ability to, and I think that's what sets USA and Canada apart.
Waning stages of the opening half. Team USA trailing by 4. 20 seconds to shoot, 30 in the quarter. Hanna with Teat on him. Hanna bulldozes towards the goal. Here comes the double. The pass Too tough to catch for Mackesy. Good defensive stand for Canada. 13 seconds to go. On the run. Leclerc finishes at the business end of the break. A fine first half for Team Canada will come to its conclusion after the over and back. It's Team Canada by 5 at the break.
That was sloppy for USA at the end there. They have to show up better. That was great defense by Jeff Teat, though, on Jack Hanna. I thought Jack could have added the spin move, taking the shot. He decided to feed it down low to the crease. Kind of boggled it, but we are here, and Canada is up 5 going into halftime. And again, if this is USA, Andy Shea's got to tell his guys to relax.
Just halfway home, Mitchell. Halfway home in this one. The two superpowers in men's lacrosse squaring off in this first ever Atlas Cup on the USA Lacrosse YouTube channel. We'll bring you back for more between quarters 2 and 3 right after these words. Team USA needs a rallying point. They are trailing by a handful at the half. Mitchell Pehlke, who's the guy, or what's the type of play that they need to rally around?
I feel like Connor Schellenberger needs to elevate a little bit. I feel like, obviously, with not a huge box and sixes background, he is an elite player, probably the best player to ever come out of the University of Virginia. And to be on this field, I think he needs to cape a little bit more of that leadership. But Jeff Teat on the other end of the field has been just lighting it up, right? Like
so good and so accurate, as you can tell with these first half highlights. Fantastic stops from Dobson from time to time. Brandau's a very clever finisher around the cage, but in this game, it seems like Canada's been able to score from distance.
They have. I mean, like we talked about, Levi Anderson, Trey Leclerc, Alex Marnier. You even see Teat pull up from about 15. They have the range, but then they also have these stick skills inside, as Canadians do.
These are two teams that are used to making goalie changes at the half, and I would expect you would see that, especially on the Andy Shea side for the United States. Logan McNaney was not necessarily at his best, although this is such a difficult game for goalies to be at their best. Back and forth, and already with 21 goals on the board.
As you mentioned earlier, this is probably Logan McNaney's first couple times really seeing this sixes matchup.
As McNaney and the United States trying to keep Jeff Teat under wraps, and that is an extremely difficult assignment. We are through 2 quarters here at Tierney Field, about to look at the numbers on display after 16 minutes. What stands out to you?
I think things look pretty even, right? Shots are there, assists are there. They're playing team lacrosse. I think the biggest thing is just USA putting those 19 shots on cage and valuable shots, and not just spraying them, but you see 19 shots both teams, 3 saves, 5 saves, and assists are pretty even. So it's a pretty even matchup right now.
With Canada out in front, we continue our halftime activities. Courtney Martinez-Connor is our sideline reporter. She says, and she has discussed with Andy Shea, the head coach for the United States, staying in the moment.
I had the opportunity to speak with head coach Andy Shea from Team USA. We talked about the hometown crowd. We talked about Team USA playing in front of all of these wonderful fans in the atmosphere. And he said while he loves it for his team, he's more focused about being in the moment. It's not about LA 28. It's about what these 12 players can do on the field tonight versus Canada. They know that the sixes discipline is very similar to box lacrosse, which Canada dominates. So he wants to see his team compete, battle, play hard, and most of all, just have good fundamentals.
Definitely underline, Courtney, that he's not the coach of the Team United States in the 28 Olympics, not yet at least. His term goes through 2027, then he'd have to reapply. So he might not even be there, Mitchell, in 2028. You know he wants to be, but he wants to take a good look and take as many notes as possible on a very, very deep player pool for the United States. We anticipated this was a hotly contested match. At the moment, we have more viewers than we've had at any point in time in the YouTube channel for this one.
I like that. You gotta love, the streamers coming alive. I think we're 1,000+ on the stream right now, and the chat's probably going crazy. Maybe a couple frog emojis, a couple laxstick emojis, and we're getting juicy in the chat. I love to hear that.
Jack Hanna had a blockbuster day against the opponent yesterday. Jack Hanna was great against Puerto Rico, scoring 4 times. Philadelphia Water Dog in PLL play. And this is another player upon whom you might sit there and say, yeah, we're going to jump on his back and see how far he can take us in this comeback against Canada. A 13-8 lead. The Canadians put 6 on the board in the first, 7 more in the second. And at this moment, Jeff Teat unofficially has 6 goals to spearhead the attack for Canada. Canadians and Americans, one more game to come. The United States squares off with Haudenosaunee, a victor today. That game will be played tomorrow at 1:30 here. Canada finishes up its slate with Puerto Rico. Canadians control the opening face-off of the third quarter. Teat waiting for fellow Cornell standout Willem Firth to jump in there, and it's English with one that was too easy against new netminder for the United States, Colin Kirst.
Colin Kirst in net. We obviously saw English have about 6 more of those yesterday, and that's what Canada does, and English is a big part of that.
Dylan Ward has taken over for Brett Dobson in the goal for Canada. Mackesy fires and introduces Ward to the game quickly.
Mackesy with the over-the-top release. He knows Dylan Ward's a taller goalie. Getting that up and over a guy like Dylan Ward, so beneficial as a shooter having to be on a tall goalie.
5-goal advantage for the Canadians. Levi Anderson burrowing in against Pedersen with a swim. Gets to the cage and scores. Anderson would not be denied.
That is a statement goal for Levi Anderson. You've seen the swim move and come across the crease time and time again. And you primarily saw that 2 years ago when the Whip Snakes beat the Atlas in the semifinals.
On the way to the cage, Ward stonewalls Mick Kelly from point blank. Levi Anderson, an injury replacement for Cody Milowski, missing this Atlas Cup tournament action for Canada. O'Keefe, fancy scoop off the wing. Shovels one hand, sends that one wide of the goal. There is a call coming. There was a slow whistle. The officials confer. Eric Campbell, Cole Day, Bill Doherty on field. Extra man time ahead for the United States. Officials getting things coordinated. Taking 2 Canadians off. Ross Scott and Trey LeClaire being asked to have a seat. The Americans about to go 5-on-3 as Dylan Ward is looking for an explanation in the Canada goal.
This is where you got to get creative as a defensive coordinator, right? You are playing a triangle defense against 5 players. Dylan Ward is going to see some rubber here in a second.
Rain starting to fall here at Tierney Field. Lightly drizzling. Mitchell, when you have a chance, tell us how that may affect the pockets when the rain starts to fall. Closing in Schellenberger's pass, gets away. It skipped past the target of Ryan Drenner.
And to your point, this affects it a little bit. These guys haven't played wet lacrosse yet in the sixes format, and now we're about to tackle that and see how that plays out.
Teat has possession for Canada. A 6-goal advantage with the Canadians shorthanded. Teat running like a wide receiver down the sideline, gets to the inside on Pettersson, draws a foul, and then snaps that one off the post. A penalty call coming up against the United States.
Jeff Teat, a guy that can do it all. Just cleared the ball, took it to the net, almost had a wraparound, hit the pipe, bounced off, got his team a penalty, and a guy, as a coach, it's too early to lock a guy like in like that, but at the end of the day, it's exciting to see what
Pettersson gets the gate for a hold. English on the run against Geddes. That pass was too high. Zach Geddes, outstanding defensive player, normally for Georgetown. Team USA with Ryan Terefenko, who also can play heavy defense with the skills to score. United States needs to get back on the score sheet quickly as we are moving towards the midway mark of the third quarter. Brandow calling for it off the sideline. Sprints to the alley. Didn't have any shooting room there. Zip it around for Terefenko, then Kelly. Powering his way in, gets through, crosses over and scores a beauty.
And Kelly with the twister going right down the right alley. He's been a good, stable, consistent player for USA.
Likes hunting and fishing. He must have had a great time in Denver doing that. LeClaire, long range, Kirst, able to bat that aside. Colin Kirst, an All-American, a captain at Rutgers. Mackesy looks inside. Drenner not going to finish there against Ward, who straightened up to make the save. Marinier glides across the timeline. You have 10 seconds to clear in the sixes format. Eddie Camo said that 7 Red would have the ball a lot. He's been true to his word. And Teat's been productive. Kirst kneels to get that save. Bringing back the ball offensively with Schellenberger. Less than 4 minutes to go in the third. Schellenberger jets into the offensive end. The field 70 meters long by 36 meters wide for sixes play in this Atlas Cup. Hanna playing a 2-man game. Gets a screen set from Geddes. Zips it and scores. Hanna with a BB.
Hanna looking great. Getting his whole team involved and just tic-tac-and-toe quickly here with USA to kind of get back into this.
They're within 4. Time's a wasting in this third quarter. Firth serves it up top there for Teat. Firth against Geddes, going to the rack. Good stiff check there by Geddes. Staying with it, Peterson goes underneath. He scores. Managed to stay out of the crease, and he delivers. Clark Peterson. United States with Terefenko making a mad dash towards the cage, quickly seeing 2 defenders. Brandow lets this one fly. That hit cross traffic in front of Ward. It's still USA ball with 8 seconds to shoot. Off the face dodge and roll, Terefenko had that one knocked aside. Excellent work by McConvey and Ty Banks defensively.
Definitely. A reset, USA ball.
No reset here, just 2 seconds, Mitchell, to go to the goal. It's a shot clock violation against the Stars and Stripes.
Hit the defender, not the goalie, not the cage. No reset, my apology.
2 teams exchanging blows here in the third quarter. Haymakers at times. 16-11 for Canada. These 2 national programs represented tomorrow in what will be the title-winning game in the Atlas Cup on the women's bracket. Both of these teams in the men's side have games to play tomorrow to conclude matters in this inaugural cup. Great passing play, even better save. A dazzling stop by Kirst on the doorstep to beat English. Set up splendidly there by Ross Scott, a magnificent save from Kirst.
Ross Scott, you mentioned him being a jitterbug earlier in the game. He's one of the shiftiest players we will see in this format. Honestly, perfect skill set, but he's the one that created that assist to almost have the goal.
Canada, a man to the good. McKelly has a seat. Extra man opportunity for the Canadians as we move towards the waning stages of the third. Leclerc with Teat calmly up top. Behind the back on the flick. Leclerc, Teat, once more through that seam, and it was yanked wide by Peterson. Defensive stand the Americans had to have right there as we're back even. First throws a BB ahead. It gets away from Hannah in his battle with Ty Banks. Banks comes up. Banks, who so often gets the most difficult defensive assignment for the Hoyas. Very comfortable at that end of the field. Willem Firth dancing. Shot clock down to 12. Marinier pulls the trigger, curse the save. Scott finds the rebound and gets Canada a new possession. Quick stick inside behind the back. No! Marinier did not see that one cross the line. It's a breakaway bid ahead of the field. Drenner, stopped by Ward! A sensational save. Both goalies magnificent at both ends.
That's Sixers lacrosse right there. I love that.
Dylan Ward, who's won at every level. NLL, Worlds, Field, Box. Showing off his game-saving ability there in what is technically his first official Sixers event. He's guarding the goal for Canada, backstopping their interests. The lead is 5. Brandow from the perimeter. Plenty of shake and bake. From the angle, Ward makes another save, straightening up on Mackesy. Canada can take the final possession. They lead by 5. Feed it inside. One-handed effort there from Leclerc. That was a super tough catch. Was there a push? A push without possession that would have kept it Canada ball. As the horn sounds, ending 3. Team Canada just 8 minutes away from downing the U.S. on U.S. soil.
They're maintaining that 5-goal lead right now, and they're doing a great job of really maintaining that. And I think USA hasn't really had a chance to kind of get back into the rhythm.
16-11 in the books. 8 minutes to go. You don't want to leave now. The 2025 Atlas Cup on the USA Lacrosse YouTube channel. We'll get you back to Sparks, Maryland after these messages.
Every player knows the skills you learn on the field can be the foundation for anything you choose to do in life.
Thank you for connecting me to a greater community.
We're growing beyond goals on the field.
And our futures are united.
So thank you, Lacrosse.
For inspiring me to be me.
We are better,
Safer.
And wiser together.
And we're building a stronger future
For everyone.
It has been a terrific Saturday night. The raindrops continue to fall here at Tierney Field. Team Canada has the lead after 3 quarters. This is the 2025 inaugural Atlas Cup on the USA Lacrosse YouTube channel. Don't miss your chance to win cash prizes. Details that are available in the live chat.
Gotta love winning some coin, right? Watch to win, giving out some cash. You gotta love seeing Shelly and Marie with some cash there.
Plenty of viewers right now. In fact, the most viewers we've had on the stream throughout this weekend of play. It wraps up tomorrow, 4 games beginning at 9 a.m. First 2 games, first 2 events are women's bracket. The men will conclude matters. Team USA in the final game against Haudenosaunee. Haudenosaunee a victory earlier today. Team Canada attempting to go into that final Sunday with a 2-0 mark. They've got the 16-11 lead. Joe Beninati, Mitchell Pehlke, Courtney Martinez-Connor, your announced team, as we shout out thanks to all the men and women in our technical crew for all their efforts the past couple of days. Can't appreciate them enough. As we start the 4th quarter at Tierney Field, United States in blue, needing as many possessions as possible. And strong work off the ground. It comes up for Terefenko and Team USA. Finding the trailer, Mackesy scores!
Coulter Mackesy, you gotta love him pulling up from deep. Brian Terefenko all started with him on the fast break.
Coach Andy Shea said, I'm glad he's on my side this time around. The Princeton University star. Firth on the interchange there. McConvey looks skyward as he yanked that one high. Exactly what the United States needs. Canada with some empty calories at that end.
This is where they got to start putting it on. Down by 4 now, and the momentum's definitely on their side into this corner, but they got to execute.
O'Keefe lets it fly. Dylan Ward way off the line there to take the angle away. Unconventional at times, Dylan Ward, but very effective.
You got to love seeing new goalies do that. When they have deep shots, these goalies are coming way above the crease to kind of get a better angle.
Eddie Comeau told us of Ward, he's so adaptive. He can make his game work anywhere. He fights off another drive. This one ricochets out of bounds. It's a new 30-second shot clock for Team USA. 8-minute running quarters. So we already have just 6.5 minutes to go. O'Keefe, cross field. That's pickpocketed on the intercept by Firth. Leave it on to Peterson. 2-on-1 break. Hannah intercepting there defensively. Sturdy work. Snapshot score. Firth finishes. 17-12 for the Canadians in red. It's in the cross of Coulter Mackesy. Subs coming on off of Andy Shea's bench. This is Mick Kelly. On the wing, Brandow. Hog-tied there by English. Rolls back and scores. Brandow brings the U.S. within 4. English calmly brings it ahead for Canada. Wisely getting it in the cross of Teat, who was marvelous in the first half. A dominating 6-goal performance for number 7. Peterson drifting in. Neck-tied there on his way down. He scores. Peterson adding to his totals on the day, his second of the night. We get the whistle, stoppage in play, and a timeout taken. Mitchell, these games are played so quickly. We've talked about how efficiently you need to operate offensively. There's still enough time for the United States to rally, but they'd almost need to be letter perfect.
They would. The fast break aspect I mentioned earlier in the game needs to be essentially on every time they're on the field. For Colin Kurse to be able to get the ball in the back of the net and continue to dump it, there should be no set plays. It should be, let's just get to the cage because we have to put the ball in the back of the net. In 5 minutes and 6 times, that's a lot faster.
Inside the huddle with the United States, Andy Shea there putting his hand to his forehead for a moment, discussing matters. Andy Shea and Tony Resch, the coaches for the United States. If you're just tuning in with us on the USA Lacrosse YouTube channel, Canada led by 1 at the end of the first. They bumped their lead up 13-8 at the halftime break. It's 18-13 for the moment. The United States has possession. The creative talents of Connor Schellenberger. Great to see him healthy. He's been dinged up in the past prior to international events. This is his first time with the USA National Sixes team. Going to work now. Schellenberger at X. Turns, leans in. Great defensive work there by English. Mackesy goes underneath and scores. Mackesy is finding his stroke.
Mackesy looks great, and I like seeing Schellenberger get in the mix there, but Ty English with some great defense there.
Mackesy, unanimous first team All-Ivy, had 3 goals against Puerto Rico yesterday. On the run, back come the Canadians. It's a booming drive from Leclerc. What else is new?
Trey Leclerc, we've seen that time and time again. The sweep to the middle and just canning it from deep.
Right-handed hammer on the outside. Schellenberger at the top of the formation. Move it for Hanna, who does a lot of explosive work off these two-man games. He just bullied down a defender. Terefenko, snapshot score. Had to have it that trip.
U.S. goal is still at 34.
4 minutes to go. Team USA down 4. Team Canada victorious yesterday over Haudenosaunee 24-16. The United States came into this game 1-0. Team USA beat Puerto Rico by 10. Teat waiting for the play to develop. And there was a hold away from the ball, giving the Americans a chance to attack. McKelly driving in. Good stick check again. The defensive efforts of English, time after time. This is a guy who scored 7 goals yesterday. He's been one of the best, if not the best defender for Canada tonight.
No, I felt him at Ohio State. He actually guarded me on a couple runs, and you could feel the difference he had. And he has that Canadian blood, and I did not get past him. I'll say that firsthand.
Keep going on that description. What's the key? What are the elements that he brings to the field? I
think the aspect that's so interesting, and I remember when I got the ball and I was going to dodge on him, in the back of my head, I'm like, this guy's an offensive midi. This should not be a problem for me. I'm licking my chops for an opportunity like this. And I go, and I remember that first poke check, slam check, right to the bicep. I kind of felt like this guy's ready here to play, and I remember some of my teammates telling me he is a Canadian, and these guys know how to play both sides of the ball, and he has it. You talked about earlier, that family background of dad playing in the CFL.
Ty English there without his helmet on for the moment, the captain of the North Carolina Tar Heels in 2025. This discipline, this sixes format has to be right up his alley.
100%. These guys that grew up in Canada, they grew up playing in the barn in box lacrosse before they touched the field. Some of these Canadians might not have played field lacrosse until they got to college, so they definitely have the upper leg against USA in this field.
The two international giants in the sport of lacrosse, Canada and the United States, fighting tooth and nail down to the wire. Team Canada, the lead. This game played in front of USA Lacrosse headquarters on Tierney Field. It would be a very satisfying win for the guys in red. Ross Scott with the explosive first step gets Canada to 20.
Hitter bug mentality, you mentioned it. He is a energizer on the bench right now.
3 minutes to go. Hanna works on the swim, on the exchange to Geddes. Stacked up by Banks. Feed it inside. Brandel pops out to score. It's 20-16. Time continues to tick. Just off the bench, Peterson has it. Peterson, who's so conscientious of taking care of his own end. That's on the defensive side. Scott and Teat go to work offensively. Teat drawing 2 defenders. Managed to keep it in his cross, and he flicked it wide. This could be a crease violation. It was close. It was also close to being a card. It's going to be. At a critical juncture in this game, Mitchell, Zach Geddes is in the box for the hold.
Green card equals 30 seconds in these Olympic-like rules. And Zach will just stand in the chair for 30 seconds.
As the rain intensifies, now beating down perhaps as hardly as it has done in the second half, Canada goes for the jugular now on the extra man. Teat, work it with McConvey, switch it to Leclerc. Tic-tac-toe looking over the top, it's too tall for Peterson. On the sideline, the Americans have it. Terefenko jets into the offensive end. Team USA still shorthanded. Brandau coming late. He got crossed up by that pass. Less than 2 minutes to go. Canada controls the lead by 4. Play resumes with Canada in possession. English with McConvey. This way to Firth. Quick change of direction, goes to the goal. He scores. Willem Firth. Eddie Camo says he could be another Jeff Teat. He looked like Teat right there.
He looks great. A guy that's currently doing it still at Cornell. A guy that got one Rookie of the Year in 24, and a guy that knows how to do it.
Terefenko wipes out on the slick field. Remember, it's been raining all of this fourth quarter. Canada with the takeaway, and Team Canada is 70 seconds away from victory lane on U.S. soil. In Sparks, Maryland, we're about 20 minutes north of Baltimore on a Saturday night, the second day of the inaugural Atlas Cup, and Team Canada is close to banking a win. Scott going to the goal with some insurance. Insurance for the Canadians, a 6-goal lead in less than a minute to play. Cross field. Pedersen, jump shot, he scores. 22-17, the deficit is 5. It's a 30-second shot clock. Canada can just take the air out of the ball right now, and that's exactly what they're gonna do. Banks backpedals to the sideline. 22 tallies against this stiff U.S. defense and net-minding crew, and it's gonna be good enough for Team Canada. The Canadians going to the goal. Another necktie placed on Banks as he converts. Canada will have a chance to win the Atlas Cup. They tangle with Puerto Rico tomorrow. United States gets a goal from O'Keefe in the dying stages of the fourth. Team Canada comes to Sparks, Maryland, and picks up the win by the final of 23-18.
Canada pulls away on top, beating USA by 5 goals. They look like the dominant team right out of the gate. Coming out of the gate, scoring 2 quick ones, not as many turnovers, and consistently doing that quarter after quarter.
A satisfying win for the guys in the red jerseys. Early in the game, Mitchell, it was about Jeff Teat saying, hey fellas, get on my back.
You saw it earlier. 6 goals in the first half. You don't see that a lot, especially in a game like Sixes where it's so back and forth. That's going to become normal as Sixes play continues to happen. And you kind of saw, hey, Jeff did it in the first half. Who's going to be the guys that step up in the second? And that was Canada as a whole, as a team, doing that.
2 impressive squads battling back and forth, and the United States falls in this one by the final of 23-18. Canada had 13 goals at the halftime break. You look at the rest of the numbers, it was pretty tight.
It was tight. It was tight. And I think at the end of the day, USA's got to continue just to work on putting the ball in the net. I think, chemistry at an event like this is tough. Andy Shea had the guys here 3 or 4 days early to kind of get that down. But at the end of the day, you're essentially forming these all-star teams in a new setting of lacrosse and trying to say, hey, let's go out, put the ball in the back of the net, and let's try to win. It's easier said than done.
Plenty of highlights in this one at Tierney Field in front of a record-breaking crowd this Saturday night. We told you Teat was dominant early. This video will prove just that.
Jeff Teat, this is Teat lacrosse right there, and the fact that he can do it in both indoor and outdoor, and now Sixes turning that as a category is nuts. But Canada, like I mentioned, they've been doing it all game. They were the most consistent team, and they deserve to win.
Wing shooters Leclerc and Marinier were effective, especially in the opening half, as these two teams wish each other well. Another hard-fought contest, this one in favor of our neighbors to the north. And Team Canada, with 16 tallies through 3, they put another 7 spot on the board in the fourth. Through the raindrops, the highlights were plentiful. Love the way Leclerc goes to the rack. The United States not able to claw its way back in the fourth quarter. An efficient and eager to go to goal Canada squad would not be denied.
Definitely. I think at the end of the day, this was the marquee matchup. This was the aspect that people wanted to see. And Everybody wanted to be here for this game. You said it. Sold out crowd, most viewers on a stream, and it just goes to show USA has to put in more work. They want to get to a place in 28 where they feel comfortable, and obviously they're not there yet.
This is the end of day 2, a Saturday night with the inaugural Atlas Cup. One more game to follow in the men's and women's bracket. Canada knocking off the United States. Plenty of dizzying highlights, great goals from Leclerc and Marinier. Goaltending was outstanding. Dylan Ward coming off the bench for Eddie Camo, and he was hot when needed to be in the fourth. Firth scored the insurance marker despite the efforts of Brandow in the United States. This would go Team Canada's way. So we've got 4 games tomorrow, Mitchell. It starts with the women's bracket at 9 a.m., shifting gears a little earlier for Sunday. 9 a.m., Haudenosaunee against Puerto Rico. Canada and the United States on the women's side, both of those teams are 2-0. So the winner of that game wins the Atlas Cup as you look at the rundown for Sunday.
Then you have the men's game with Puerto Rico and Canada at noon, and men's going to finish it off again with USA and Haudenosaunee.
Our Capelli player of the game is Jeff Teat, standing by with Courtney Martinez-Connor.
I'm here with Jeff Teat, the player of the match for Canada versus Team USA. Jeff, you finished with 7 points on the day, 6 goals, 1 assist. What about it offensively makes things work for you on the field?
Yeah, I think we're surrounded by a good group of players, and I think it makes everything easier, and you get a lot of possessions in the sixes game. So try to be as efficient as possible, on offense and defense.
Now, as attacking player, you played some solid defense out there as well. Playing both sides of the ball, very different from an attacker of the year from the PLL in 2024. How do you make it look so easy?
Yeah, I think you just, when you grow up, playing box cross, you find yourself playing defense quite a bit. So I think for me, it was kind of just, buying in, digging in, and, learning from the guys around me and them trusting me and myself trusting them.
So you talked about the backyard lacrosse, how that translates into box lacrosse and sixes for Canada. This game seems like it was built for the team in red.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're trying to figure things out as we go along. We have a great player pool with a lot of old veterans, guys in the mix right now, and then a group of younger guys. So I think we're trying to test out a bunch of different things and seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, and at the end of the day, we're playing to win, of course.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jeff and Courtney, we appreciate it. Final thoughts through the raindrops from Mitchell Pehlke. What have you seen through 2 days of Atlas Cup play?
It's exciting. I think, you look at a venue like this, sold out, most streaming views tonight. This is Saturday Night Lacrosse, and this is what's going to be expected here in the Olympics in 28.
Team Canada head coach Eddie Camo said, I love Jeff Teat. He's the guy who's going to have the ball when it matters most, but he said we're not a one-man team. The Canadians proved that tonight to the United States and the fans, the record-setting fans who are here to watch it, as Team Canada wins it 23-18. For Mitchell Pehlke, for Courtney Martinez-Connor, for all the men and women in our crew, Joe Beninati, thanks so much for your time. Be sure to join Glenn Clark and crew tomorrow. Atlas Cup champions will be crowned here at Tierney Field. Have a great evening, everyone.